Hey guys, it's Justin for Great Lakes Bee Supply. We just planted our tree last video. We're going to do a worm tower right next to it. The reason we're going to do this is because worms are great composters and their worm castings are excellent food for our tree, and they're going to do a lot of feeding the tree for us and helping it grow big and strong. It's a very simple thing. We just dug a hole next to our tree. We took a PVC pipe, cut some holes, just put some screen on there to keep the worms from escaping, and down here we stuffed some wet hay. This is going to be their bedding. They need good clean bedding, otherwise they can get sick and they'll try to crawl out, and they just like a clean bedding to lay their eggs and breed and do all their stuff. So it's pretty simple. You just bury it in the ground. We've got our red wiggler worms. They need to be red wigglers. Night crawlers are not decomposing worms. They are aerators. So if you put night crawlers down in here, they'll just bury they'll just go right into the ground and they'll be gone. These guys stay up in the top of the soil and eat any decomposing leaves or food or any scraps that end up on the ground. So we're going to put them in our tower, which is only about 2 foot deep. The fruit trees' roots, most of their nutrients are gathered in the first 18 to 24 inches of the soil. The rest of the roots go down there for water purposes and when drought happens. So these will stay right up at the top and they'll decompose our food and they'll feed our tree. So it's real simple. I got these worms from home. Not a lot of them in there, but there's more than you think. And you simply toss them in there. Down they go. Now worms have gizzards just like chickens, so it's always good to get some fine dirt and throw it in there and help them. They'll eat that and they'll grind up that food and turn it into great worm castings. So next we're going to put some highly decomposed food in here, and they eat the bacteria on the food, so the more decomposed it is, the better, and they'll eat that right up. And then we're just going to throw some more wet hay in there. You want to try to keep it wet and moist because they need it wet. If they get dried out, they'll die. You ever seen a worm on the sidewalk? It dries out, it dies. So we're going to try to keep them nice and moist. And you just stuff that in there, and then you put your cap on. We'll bury it all back in, and when you go to feed them, all you do is remove your lid and you can put your food scraps down there. Now it's important to know that certain foods they do not like. Onions are not good for them. Starches like bread, potato skins, they can go in there, but you don't want to do a lot of it. The best thing is coffee grounds, fruits and vegetables, lettuce, stuff that they can decompose really easy. It's easier on them and it makes good food for your tree. So that's all you have to do to install a worm tower. And they'll eat quite a bit. They'll go through food much quicker than you think, but that's a good thing. The quicker they go through it, the more that leaches out into the soil and feeds our tree. Okay, we've got our tube buried, we've got our worms installed along with some food and bedding. Now all we have to do is maintain their environment, and that's very easy. All you have to do is maybe once a week you can add some food, old rotten food, kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, anything really works other than the few that I mentioned earlier. You'll put those right in there, maybe once a week. After a couple weeks you might want to throw some more bedding in there. Bedding can include torn up paper bags, leaves, dried leaves. They love old hay and old straw, and you just put that right in there and you kind of layer it like a lasagna, and they'll go through it and they'll live in there and they'll eat everything up. The one thing you want to look out for is if you open this up and it smells like garbage, you're overfeeding and you're going to need to cut back for a couple weeks and let them get that cleaned up. You'll notice if you're doing it right, you'll open this up and there'll be rich, dark, black dirt in there, and it'll smell like earth. It'll have a real sweet smell to it. And that's how you know things are going right. As far as keeping them moist, the ground should do most of that, but for the first few weeks you might want to take a spray bottle and just a couple sprays down there to keep it moist because they need the moisture. So that's really all you have to do to maintain them. They'll do most of the work on their own. This is part of our gilding series. We're going to have more videos on that, so if you're interested in gilding, please check our other videos and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.